Okay. I'm so late. I was supposed to go live at 4. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Live and Be Great. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, my name is Latanya McDonald. And if you like and appreciate psychological content, esoteric sciences, real talk, okay, this is the place to be. Subscribe to my channel though. Please, 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 please subscribe to my channel. Um, so today for this live, I feel as though the game has changed. And unfortunately, I don't think that we got the memo, right? There is like it's like this feeling that I have these days. And it's been, I want to say over the past year or maybe 2 years, it's like a heavy cloud. Actually, no, the past year, I'm not going to give it 2 years. I'm going to give it 1 year. Okay? It's like a heavy cloud over all of us right now, no matter where you're at, especially if you're in America and you're at the age of adulthood, might be a millennial or a Gen Zer, and you were bred, all of us were bred to be a part of a particular system, right? We were taught that we were supposed to go to school, get the job, get the car, get the house, have the kids, and you're a good person, you're going to be happy, right? But a lot of people are in situations to where either they have those things and they still feel unfulfilled, they have those things and they feel like they have to fight harder than they would have had to keep it, or they don't have those things at all because they no longer have the access that was granted long before now, right? It was easier for the boomers, tad bit easier for the Gen Xers than the state of the world today. And I don't think we're okay. I don't. Absolutely not. It feels so heavy. Like even when you feel as though you have crossed something off your bucket list or you have obtained a level of success, something is missing, right? Or maybe you're a late bloomer like me. That part is difficult. It's it feels like punishment for not being as quick as everyone else, right? But if we are being honest, a lot of this is out of our control. I feel as though it is. A lot of this is out of our control. How we feel these days. Hmm. I want people to know that it's not their fault. If you feel like you're behind, if you feel like you're lazy, if you feel like you are uneducated enough, You're not by yourself. It's really, really difficult to ignore what is going on today. It's going to hit you some type of way from whatever's going on in the news, what's going on with the economy, what's going on with the job market, what's going on with spirituality, you know, your leaders, what's going on with communication and relationships, because this is a very, 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 ever since the virus, right? I truly believe that it drew us all further apart. So some people, they may have people that they feel like they can count on, but also if you talk to people, they say, okay, if I see them on social media, that kind of is like, oh, they look like they're doing good, and that's all I need to do. And that person could be lonely, that person could be performing, or the person who is watching everybody, on the Facebook, the Instagram, TikTok, or wherever you see your friends, your actual friends, you still feel lonely. You feel as though, okay, what I'm seeing on the screen looks like they're doing well, but I don't feel like I'm where I need to be, or I don't want to burden them with my problems. So people stop calling. And they could have sworn they checked on each other, but they didn't. Just because you seen a post or you liked a post on social media. It's heavy. I don't know. Comment below. Comment below if you feel that heaviness as well. What are your daily struggles today? Where do you feel like you're lacking? Where do you feel as though, like me, I feel as though I know for a fact that the game has changed. It has. It's had, yeah, like not, nobody's convincing me that it hasn't and that it's unfair as to there was no preparation for this shift. I think I wonder if I when did I first realize this shift? I think I'll be honest. I think I first realized the shift during the presidential election. It may have been before then. It may have been before then when you look at the economy and how I want to say before President Biden's first term, we were all complaining about the prices of eggs was like $8 for some reason, right before he came into office. Right before he came into office. I think I started to see a shift there. Of course, there was a shift after, I would say, socially, cognitively, relationship wise, during the the virus. During what year was that? 2019, 2020 into 2021. I think that's when I noticed it, for sure, for sure. Comment below, when did you first notice that there was a shift? If you even notice, if you feel like everything is fine, let me know what you doing to feel like everything is fine. What are you ignoring? Because that's a thing too. Some people have decided to unplug. Some people have decided to go ahead and get a flip phone and have a phone that doesn't have any access to the internet so that they can unplug. And surprisingly, Gen Z is leading that charge. So proud of you guys for doing that. When do you feel like it shifted? If you feel a shift at all, are you still comparing yourself to your parents and your grandparents? Some of you, even your siblings, their advantages that you feel like aren't available to you now. And part of that could be a good thing because maybe things need to shift. One thing I am proud of is I think I also saw a shift when I noticed that Gen Z had went on this campaign to discover the Menendez brothers, their trial, and how it actually went. And there were so many different clips that came about and which sparked the documentary series. And I see that a lot of our celebrity figures, because when social media didn't exist, it's usually you can write it off as a tabloid rumor unless somebody took you to court. If somebody took you to court, then okay. But I say all that to say is I see people not accepting foolishness anymore, any misalignment or hmm, what's the right word I'm looking for? Cancel culture. Cancel culture, I feel as though it is necessary with the recent with the recent exposure of those Epstein files, with the Diddy trial, with what's going on in Palestine and Israel, what went on in Venezuela. That part I think is necessary, but it's still a bit traumatic. It's still a bit traumatic because you were taught to reach for a particular dream based off of what you want to do when you grow up. And now the people that you looked up to are false. They bad people, right? They lost themselves in the performance. It's all fake. Now all that's being revealed. So I can appreciate that, but it's still like a damper. It feels like, what do we do now? And then with this shift of me feeling like we are not okay as a society, there's confusion. You are blaming yourself. I'm hearing parents blaming their kids as to, why aren't you taking care of me yet? They can barely take care of themselves. Like that, that's the problem. They can barely take care of themselves right now. Get on Zillow or Redfin or whatever the case may be and go look at housing prices. I remember when I want to say, coming out of middle school, and my mom was looking for a house for the family in Georgia, and us seeing her saying that she wanted something under 160,000, right? And she was able to get that. Look at the houses now, right? Look at them, 500K and up for a family in a decent neighborhood. Some even more. Things are different. Like they can't. You're not convinced me that we're playing the same game anymore. right? There's a lot of parents that felt as though they were able to take care of their parents, so they wanted to have that same security in their adult children, and they don't, right? There's people that should have retired, been able to retire at least in their 50s, early 50s, maybe, early 60s. They're still working. Their adult children have to move back home with their grandchildren. And I feel like it's definitely a damper. I'm not trying to bring the room down, but sometimes what you need to move forward is somebody acknowledging that they feel the same way that you do, and that you're not alone, right? And I'm watching it. I'm watching all the reviews. I like to watch influencers that will grab a bunch of different short form content and react to it on certain topics, but it's consistently negative, right? So sometimes we have to, turn it off and not go down that rabbit hole of negativity. But the cloud is still there, regardless of whether you choose to look at it not or not. And I still feel it. Comment below if you still feel this cloud, if you feel like the game has changed. All right? Let me know what you're feeling. I don't know. I wanted to get this off my chest today, even though it was late, because I am someone that tries to do the most, the absolute most. And I'm a perfectionist. I'm still fighting through it. I myself would would like to push myself to show up more. So me going live, me taking another crack at this social media, this YouTube channel, is me pushing myself to still fight for more. Because if I'm going to be here, I might as well give it my best shot. But today, I want to acknowledge that the game has changed for all of us. We don't have the rules don't fit. They changed all the pieces you were supposed to use to even try to win and to get ahead. They changed the board that we're playing on, all of it. All of that has changed, right? And if we acknowledge it as a collective, then maybe we can figure out a way to make the system work for us, this new way that we all feel as though we have a fighting chance of stepping into our purpose, whatever that may be. And maybe this generation, maybe they just need to get pissed off enough to change it. Maybe we need more leaders. We need more people speaking up. And I feel like that is happening. All these mini documentaries that I see on YouTube, shout out to y'all. Like, oh, shout out to all of you that are doing the work, are doing the research. I appreciate it. I truly, truly do. And art should reflect the times. And that's what those people are doing. That's what you are doing if you're one of those influencers who comes online to tell the truth, not just to pretend like everything is okay because it isn't, right? So not only do you have to deal with your own mental, you got to deal with the fact that there's this dark cloud and everything has switched, you know? Everything. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. If you're seeing this live, please subscribe. Subscribe so I can get my little boost to keep going because we all need it, especially those of us who are taking the chance to come out and speak the truth on what they're experiencing without, the fear of looking weak or shame or I'm supposed to look or assume this position that I have it all together. I do not. I don't. I don't. But my story, me being a life coach, I used to be a former therapist. My story is to teach through experience. The story, the experience, that's the cure. That's how I move, honestly. And I'm turning 40 next week. I'm turning 40 next week. And I'm going to give myself more grace. I'm going to do my best not to be as hard on myself as to what I feel like I should have by now. Because the game has changed. It's a tad bit harder, you know? And of course, there are things that I've accomplished in this lifetime that some people will never accomplish. I'm grateful for that. I am. But I always want to be authentic. I always want to be true to who I am and my purpose and playing my role in changing the world. Whether I help heal one person, thousands of people, I feel as though I've done my job. I didn't fail. I'm recalibrating. I have to because the rules have changed. And now I want to pay more attention to the present. We can still grieve the past because that is a process. And people aren't talking to people are really, you know what? People are talking, but not really, like, really. It hurts to be told that if I do this, and this, I'm gonna be straight, like my parents and my grandparents, and so on and so forth. And then when I'm here, I don't have access to the same thing they did. Yeah, it feels like a dream has died. Like that part is, I don't know if I articulated that the proper way or not, but ooh, that part is something. It truly is. It truly, truly is. So now we gotta adapt. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna adapt and we're gonna shift this thing. Okay? But it starts with acknowledging that we can no longer move in the same way that we were moving, right? If somebody you looked up to, whether it's a family member, whether it's somebody in authority, an authoritative figure, whether it's a whole system, that you are now finding out that it's not what you thought it would be, you're probably the one that is supposed to help change it. Hmm. That's an honor. Take it as an honor and do what you need to do your small part in fixing it and not just changing it because you noticing it for a reason. There are people that are walking around like zombies here and just doing what they're told. Even though they feel in the heaviness, they feel like they can't speak up. But if you're one of those people to where it's like physically making you sick to pretend like it don't exist, you probably the one that's supposed to change it. Right? So we got to get out of this loop. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you missed your chance. It's that now we have to no longer tolerate what our parents and grandparents and back dealt with, right? Because it's not like it was all perfect, even though things were, I would say, there were certain things that were easier for them that isn't easier for us now. And there's certain things that are easier for us that wasn't easy for them, right? But it's just the disconnect. The cloud is that being told that this defines you being a good person, you having a good life. And that is not true, which we know. We know now, okay? Over tolerating things, staying too long, trying to prove yourself to a system that was never designed for you to succeed, that has to stop. It has to stop. It's unnecessary. It's killing you, right? You was never meant. Don't waste no more time doing that. Okay? Don't. It doesn't serve you. Okay? It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve you. And you have to do what you have to do to protect your mind, protect your spirit by acknowledging that the game has changed and now we have to do things differently. Okay, we got to play this new game, whatever it is. And part of it is okay, I'm not going to try to keep up with the Joneses any longer, right? I'm going to actually do what feeds my spirit. I'm not going to tolerate things that should no longer be tolerable. I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to no longer define myself by the old standards of success because it's not a thing. You know, and I talked real briefly about something when I was specifically talking about artists. I have a, a video on my channel about that, and I was talking about how we kind of those people who wanted to be child actors, who wanted to have record deals, who are super talented, wanted to be artists of any nature, any caliber, actors, actresses, musicians, whatever, right? Um, how you seeing this Hollywood downfall, right? Exposure after exposure, cancel after cancel. And I want people to look at it as what if your soul said, okay, I want to bypass all of this so I can do this the right way. So that it no longer pains me to create my art because it has a stain on it, because I fell into whatever that trap was that all those people, I'm just like, I'm looking at these files, like all of y'all, like everybody, not just the files, but the cases, everything, so everybody just gonna use and abuse people when they get money. Like that's, so we got to cancel all the millionaires, all the billionaires. Like that's what we all aspiring to be. And what we're really aspiring to be is to actually, it's not necessarily, oh, we want to be millionaires. It is, I want to live, actually live my life instead of stressing about when I'm going to eat, if I'm going to be able to sleep, what my body is doing, what my family is doing. Am I going to be able to protect myself? Am I going to be able to protect my family, financially support it? I think that when it comes to finance, right, they're charging for you to drink and nourish yourself, right? They charge for water. So it's like, it is, I think that's more of it. Like, I want to experience my life. So that's why most people are like, oh, I want to be a millionaire, you know? But what we've seen, because that was defined as success, that pipeline to abuse, it's kind of like they got there and they were bored, or they got there and didn't handle their trauma. And those victims got it out the mud, but because they didn't handle their trauma, the victim now became the abuser. But that's another topic. But just think of it that way as well. If you know the truth about even where you come from, what your parents or grandparents actually put up with that you feel like they shouldn't have had to put up with, sometimes it's on the back of the next generation to make that difference, because it will be worse for you if you continue the wrong way when you know something needs to change. Okay? So we got to fight for it. We got to keep going. We got to support each other. We got to adapt. We have to be aware. We have to learn ourselves through psychology, through astrology, any of the esoteric sciences, spirituality, through knowledge, through education. Have to learn ourselves, relearn, actually, what we're supposed to do and who we're supposed to be and how we're going to get there and create our own game, right? So, if you take one thing from this live, you're not broken. All right? You're not broken at all. You're just adapting to a game that changed without notice. You're noticing that the game has changed. I'm noticing, and I'm standing here with you. And we're going to figure it out. We are. But first, we got to let go of that blaming ourselves for something that was out of our control. Right? So, no, you're not tripping. If you're not okay, if you feel this heaviness, you're not alone. All right? You're not late. You're responding to the reality, and the reality has changed. Okay? So, thank y'all for tuning in. Uh, Subscribe to my channel, like, share this live, support the channel. If you would like to work with me, I'm a spiritual psychological life coach. I do all the things. to help you not just live, but to live and be great. The links will be in the description. Okay, if you want a reading, in the description. Want to find out your purpose and be held accountable for that? It's in the description. Okay, it'll be there. I'll come back and put it there. All right. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to give yourself permission to live and be great.